Hello, everybody. Welcome to Webinessence Enterprises. I am your host, Shannon Fisher. I'm just going to wait a few moments while I wait for people to trickle in and cleanse the space. Hello, Shannon. How are ya? So everybody that does pop on, what I am going to do after I get started here, once the general collective 7-day forecast is delivered, then I will be asking for your questions that you would like to be answered or clarified or validated, whatever it is that you're looking for from Spirit to help you in a more personal way. So you can ask specific questions, or if you're not sure what to ask, I always go to the default. Spirit, tell me what I need to know. And so I will be asking you when I'm ready for those questions for you to type those in. So for now, we were going to cleanse this beautiful space. I'm working with sage a lot lately. So cleansing and clarifying. Beautiful. Just going to let that sit there. Still getting used to not having music in the background. It's very different for me switching from being on Facebook, which just feels like a much smaller container. So to be absolutely honest with you guys, I am very nervous when I come on to these YouTube videos right now. It feels like I'm doing the very first videos I did on my Facebook Webinessence Enterprises page. So for those that are new and have not met me before, I do have a Facebook page. You guys are more than welcome to go check out. I have years of live videos and messages that are over there. So actually, Spirit was giving me a message not that long ago, like maybe about 10 minutes ago, to mention this for you. So whether you're here with me now live, which is January 23rd, just after 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, please check. Make sure that that's the date that you're watching this, because if it's not, you're on the replay and I won't be seeing your comments. Apparently, YouTube has taken down the ability to see comments on replays. So in order to get your free personalized readings, you do have to join while I'm live. And every now and again, you'll see me pop on. Hello, Nicole. Yes, how are you doing? So, but the message that came through from Spirit for those of you that do know me, but most for those that don't, there's going to be people down the line that are looking for information. And Spirit wants you to know that if you're drawn to any of the old videos, right, follow those nudges, because Spirit's teaching or trying to lead you to something. So that's why that message came through. Go check out the Facebook page that I have and go just follow your intuition of what year, what day, whatever. And, you can even fast forward if it feels right through one of the videos just to get to whatever message that Spirit is leading you to. It's really important to trust the sensations that your body is giving you. The signals from our physical body is the way that Spirit communicates with us on a personal level. Otherwise, you can see signs outside of you. Okay. Well, oh, great. I have a couple people here already. That's so awesome. Thank you guys for showing up here. So today's 7-day forecast is valid from today, which is January 23rd through the 29th of 2023. And wow, I got a recap with last week there with the first message of detach from drama, which was amazing because I actually had to be a part of some pretty heavy family stuff that wasn't necessarily mine, but I'm there to support my family. And it was, I liked having that message in the back of my head, because after I was done with the day of that support, I was able to really disconnect and not stay focused on that. But what was interesting was on Thursday when Mercury went direct. I don't know how many of you felt the energy shift, but I sure did. When I woke up in the morning, I had butterflies flying around all inside me, which is that excitable energy. And of course, it was one of the best days with the family stuff that we were doing, that the outcome couldn't have been any better. It was it was magical. So I'm really hoping everybody had a few magical days, either on Thursday last week, or, it's been unfolding throughout the days, because bringing up to speed as of right now, I was informed that all planets are direct right now. So this energy feels a lot more clear. And so there's going to be a lot more clarity. We also had the new moon 2 days ago. So if anybody hasn't really done that clearing space or set intentions with that new moon energy, you can still do that today. No problem. But it's come to light for me that, we're moving into more light now after the new moon, as we move towards the full moon, right? So sometimes the new moon can have us feeling like we're a little bit in the dark, which allows us to go in and see what needs to be released. And then we do that process. And then the next cycle up to the full moon allows that clearing and that celebration to take place. It's also come to my awareness this morning that we believe today marks a 3-year cycle of Saturn being in Aquarius, which started in March 2020. You guys put the dots together, okay? That 3-year cycle is ending right now. And with that, we also have Jupiter in Aries, which is starting a new 12-year cycle. So it's really important as of today and over the next few days to get very clear on your intentions for yourself and for, your participation in the world, right? What's your ideal life look like? These are, the spirit really wants us to get in tune with our dreams, our hopes, and our wishes, and start elevating our vibrational frequencies, and get excited about this. So the more things that you do that bring you joy will help get you to the manifestation of those bigger dreams, right? But get clear on what those dreams are. Do not worry about the how. Leave that up to the power of all that is. We're in co-creation with all that is. This has been very confusing for humans, especially being aligned with an ego aspect of ourselves, which is just here to keep us safe. And if everything is, or all things that are unknown to us is a potential threat to that part of ourselves, it makes it very difficult to raise our vibration and find happiness and trust, right? When we're in that part of ourselves, there's no trust, right? And I believe that this is where we're trying to remember to get out of our own way, that there is this higher power, and there's lots of different names for it, but it's actually the unnameable one where we all come from, we're all a part of, and we're never separate from. And we just tend to think we are sometimes. So no, that faith and trust in something greater that does and is and has always been supporting you will continue to do so. And they take care, or that takes care of the details and the opportunities. We just have to be clear with what we want, be willing to take the steps and opportunities as they present, and voila. So a new 12-year cycle with the energies of Jupiter is extremely expansive. So think big, feel big. It's our time to shine. Hence why I'm doing things that are uncomfortable for me, because that's the growth. Oh, and there's big changes happening. Okay, there was two other points that I was sitting with this morning, two words that kept popping up. Well, acceptance is one word, and that started coming on repeat in my mind last night. And of course, when spirit drops one word and I hear it repeating, multiple times, I know it's something that we have to address. So acceptance is a big thing. And I know for myself, I used to think that if I, accepted something that I didn't like, that I was going to be condoning that. And that was a misconception. So I would resist accepting things until I realized, oh, that's not a true belief. And I don't need to subscribe to that. So I unplug. As Shannon's saying, super big change is happening. And I have to get out of my comfort zone too. And now is the time, right? Yeah, we're all being given this gift with this expansive energy. And there's a lot of things that we do have to do on our own, right? But when the opportunity arises for us to get together and collaborate, I don't even want to say the sky's the limit, because there is no limits, right? But sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Acceptance, right? When I realized that was a belief that I subscribed to, because I just didn't take a time to discern that and properly feel if that was true for me. And once I did, I realized, no, that actually didn't resonate. Acceptance allows you to just accept what is. It's the judgment we place on things that has us resisting. And if we're not open to everything, then we're attached to a lot of things, which keeps us stuck. So there's a lot of really good quotes. Be open to everything, but attached to nothing. I hear, I can see, I mentioned him last week because I've been watching a lot of his videos, and for some reason his name is completely eluding my mind right now. Oh Lord. Wayne Dyer. Thank you. I'm like, who are you? Because I can see him in my mind right now. He's like, Wayne. I'm like, thank you, Mr. Wayne Dyer. Yes. His webinars, if you can watch some of the free ones, are absolutely golden information for anyone on a path of self-empowerment and remembering the truth of who you are and taking your power back. One of many speakers that I have watched since my awakening and continue to go back and watch for that reminder. So acceptance does not condone bad behavior. It is recognizing that this is what it is. You don't have to like it. But once you accept it without judgment, then you can make a better choice when you realize the only thing you have control over is yourself, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own actions. And none of that is anybody else's responsibility. Breathe that in. Taking your power back. With great power does come great responsibilities. So managing yourself is a discipline. It is a devotion and a dedication that you need to set for yourself. Nobody can do it for you. There's no accountability buddies for this. Although there's a lot of support when you reach out and ask for it. But the accountability always lays within the individual. Okay, that was channeled. Beautiful. And then moving into the next word that was popping up this morning for me was permission. I did tap into this a little bit with last week's forecast and permission for this week for us is just a beautiful reminder that we do not need permission from anyone outside of ourselves for what we know to be true and right for ourselves. Right? When we ask for permission from others, or we're waiting for that validation and clarification from others, we're giving our power away in a sense. So Spirit really wants us to remember, tap into your heart as often as you possibly can to get out of that mindfulness, which is just full of distractions. It's through the heart space that we find out the truth of who we are. We develop that connection to the divine, or all that is, whatever you call that. And it strengthens your intuition. It strengthens your metaphysical abilities, which every human on this planet has access to. Breathe into the heart. It's as simple as that for a few minutes each day. And once you get used to a practice like that, you're going to want to do it for a lot more than just a few minutes, because you find your sanctuary, your serenity, your peace, and tranquility right there. So, breathe into the heart and have faith. Okay. Now for the cards, we have the Ascended Masters asking for the general collective forecast for the week of January 23rd through 29th of 2023. What are the most important messages for the general collective? And then I was just going to sit with the Ascended Masters only today, but I was nudged quite clearly to pull a message from the Seeker Oracle as an additional message of guidance for us. So. All right. Now, for those that, I know a lot of people that do know me, you've heard this many times. You're going to hear it again for those that haven't. When I pull the messages, I pull the main messages. So with the Ascended Masters, there's 3 cards. And with the Seeker's Oracle, there's 1 as the main messages. And I refer to the main messages as our messages that we can physically work with in our physical reality. So it's all about our day-to-day. And then what remains at the bottom of the decks that I'm using after the main messages are pulled, this is a sneak peek into a careful, there's fire there, sweetie. Honey, I can't have you here right now. Come on, stay there. After I pull the cards, you can sit there. Everybody say hello to Merlin. When I do my spiritual work, he really loves to come around. And when I'm meditating, he'll be on me too, purring away. It's beautiful. So what remains at the bottom of the deck, sorry about that, is they sneak peek into a bigger picture overview. So I refer to these messages as coming from our higher self. It's the bigger picture and the spirit realm, or the unseen realm. So it's the energy, okay? The overall energy. So the overall energy, and this is very interesting what I'm seeing here, is starting with the bigger picture, right? We have Osiris here with father, husband, brother, son. This is a representation of the masculine energies. Okay, so I feel like for some of us, there's going to be reconciliation with that, with a significant male in our lives, which is very good news. Okay. And for others, it is coming more into balance with your own masculine energies. No matter if you're female or male, remember, no matter what gender you were born into this life as, or what you identify as a human, every human, no matter what, has equal amounts of masculine and feminine. And we're supposed to, as far as I'm aware, learn how to balance these together instead of being more to one side than the other. And I'll tell you, that feminine energy that's rising is definitely coming and bringing that balance back. It's beautiful. So, but the masculine energy is about action. It is logic, right? And straight line kind of thinking. It is a doing energy opposed to the feminine just being. Excuse me, what am I choking on here? Okay, I felt like what I was hearing that standing up and speaking your truth and being authentic is masculine energy. But we don't need to use the force of the suppressed anger from the feminine to come out behind that and project, right? So learning how to work with understanding your own emotions and dealing with those in your own personal ways before standing up and speaking your truth about something in any situation that might be difficult. Okay, that was interesting. So yeah, I believe we're learning how to use this masculine energy in a more divine way instead of a misled way. Ooh. Wow. Now, it's interesting. I pulled this as my main message for my personal reading this morning, and it's come up as the collective energy reading for the week. Undeserved villains. So this card talks about judgment, judging a book by its cover, or judging a person or a situation or anything by what somebody perceives they know to be truth, without an open mind of a possibility that that information might be wrong or incorrect or misguided even. So these beautiful little bats, they've got a bad rap, right? But they're wonderful creatures. They take care of our environment by getting rid of so many pests that would overrun our world if these guys weren't here. So don't believe what other people tell you about things. Go have an experience with it yourself, to know it for yourself, right? This is where a lot of when gossip happens, chaos ensues, and none of it is rooted in the truth. So with that energy here, I feel like this is going to be an expansion, and this is in connection to some masculine energy. That distortment, I feel, is being corrected and understood in a more spiritual or enlightened way, if you will. But you won't see that coming from a third dimensional reality only. We have to get up and over what we think we know of this physical world, because it's not what it seems. Not at all. Which is quite funny. To me, I find it funny, but I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at people who are having difficulties. Please don't misunderstand me. It can be very difficult when we truly believe that we're stuck, right? I get it. I've been there. But this is when we need to reach out and gain that different perspective, because the slightest shift in your perspective can change your whole experience with it in the blink of an eye, 180 degrees, just like that. But you have to be open to possibility for it to happen. Otherwise, we will stay stuck. Dropping down into the main messages now. From the Ascended Masters, we have Mother Mary. So here's the beautiful balance with the feminine energies in our physical reality. Isn't this cool? We've got the masculine energy as the energetics, and the divine feminine, which is represented by Mother Mary. And the message here is to nurture yourself. Take time each day to breathe into that heart and sit in your heart space. Love yourself in every aspect, unconditionally. Right? If you still have conditions within yourself, sit with it. Sit with it. Allow yourself to feel it, because if you don't feel it, you won't heal it. Again, this is nobody else's responsibility. Breathe into your heart. Love will help you through it. And if you need help, ask for it. The second message for us this week is crystals, coming from Ascended Master Epona. So for some of us that love crystals, it's very bright where Merlin is here, but the whole table is littered with crystals. I've got crystals in boxes everywhere and grids laid out all over my house. So yeah, I do my best to work with my energy, raising the vibration using crystals, which is absolutely wonderful. Working with crystals and making crystal grids, setting intentions. This might be a very good idea for some of us with this new 12-year cycle. Set up a grid, set your intentions within that grid. Thank you. The crows agree. And let the magic unfold. Right? Trust. And for others, you may be needing or feeling drawn to go work with horses more often. Horses are extremely powerful and beautiful healing animals. They actually help us by mimicking what we're feeling. I remember when my soul sister and I, the one who taught me drumming, Sue Ann Markin, God rest her soul. We went to an equine ranch. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, but all of a sudden one of the horses just started like huffing quite like dramatically. And the owner of the horse just looked over to me and Sue Ann and was like, "Which one of you is holding your breath right now?" And I was like, no, I was breathing fine. But Sue Ann was quite nervous for some reason. So she kept holding on to her breath because she wasn't sure about the horses. Well, this one horse was trying to tell her to breathe. And so that was the message conveyed. And it like they will, they can, their hearts are huge, right? So they can feel everything from quite a distance away from them. And when humans work with them, they help to, they're beautiful emotional allies. Okay. They will process your emotions and help bring you into ease. So that's going to be very beneficial for a lot of people as well. And then something they're telling me too about fairies, because fairies are also connected with crystals. And you see, it's really interesting. Like I said, this life is not what you think it is. When you start operating on higher vibrational frequencies, you're going to start to see things you did not and could not see before because you were not a vibrational match. That's why sometimes or not sometimes, but every time you have a shift in your own awareness and consciousness, this usually indicates that there was a lot of work that was done and you're now like kind of up leveled, if you will. But I do not mean this in a better than, less than way. That's an ego 3D way of thinking. And that's not at all how I'm meaning this, just to clarify. But when you do have that expansion and that experience on a personal level, you will start to see things like you didn't see before. And for me, the colors change. When I'm shifting in vibrational frequency and I get a lot higher, all the colors that are around me go neon bright to this spectrum that is not usual for the other frequencies that I operate in. So that's a telltale sign for me that I've gone quite high, which is really good, but we don't always stay there, right? We're in this flux that goes up and down all the time. It's never going to be a straight. I mean, if it was, that'd be a flat line. Is that what, do you really think that's what you came to this life on this planet? Just to be mundane? Nope. So we will not change the dynamics on this planet with the polarities and the duality. We will learn as a human species how to cooperate with each other better. Absolutely, as the evolution and consciousness takes place. But this physical reality will still have the chaos container because this is how we create new things. So a lot of things came into my awareness in these last 2 to 3 weeks within the spiritual community of this utopia, heaven on earth, where there's going to be no conflict and no chaos. And that's not true. That's not what this container is about. So Spirit is just saying, be discerning within your own self with everything you hear from others. Run it through your heart to see if it's actually true for you. And that's okay. You don't need to judge them if it doesn't feel right for you. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just they're going to have their own experience with things, and yours is going to be a little bit different. Nobody's right or wrong. It just is what it is. That's how we get rid of judgment. It is what it is. Okay. And then in the last message from the Ascended Masters is Ascended Master Melchizedek with the spiritual law of attraction. What goes around comes around. And being impeccable with your word is imperative because our words are our wands. They want me to be very clear with what I'm choosing to say next. Because I've witnessed and I've also been this person myself where I thought I knew I was right about something and I wasn't willing to see something else. And that caused conflict. It caused discomfort and created scenarios that didn't need to happen. So within my understanding too, I realize, oh, okay. With my belief of your words are your wand, and I have this, like, it's connected with the spiritual law of attraction. So I keep asking for the truth of that, and I'm open to a different interpretation, and I keep coming back to the same one. So I'm trusting what the divine guidance is coming to me with that. So I'm actually quite hyper aware with words and when people speak. And when I hear people say things, like and it feels like they're an automatic pilot, like, oh, like I hate what I'm doing, but here I am doing this, and it's like, whoa, remember what you say you're putting out into the world. And if you're really in alignment with what you're doing, how can you be hating what you're doing? Right? But not everybody wants to hear that. And oh, I want to give one example without naming names or anything. But I was in a group setting, and one person piped up and made a comment about whales dying or something like, oh, let's just kill all the whales. And I was like, what the actual fuck? What? Well, she was just kidding. It wasn't serious, but here I am taking it seriously because your words are your wand. What comes out of your word, whether you are joking or not, is the vibrational frequency is going out into the universe, and the universe is not going to decipher, oh, she didn't mean that. Well, if she didn't mean that, it wouldn't have come out of her mouth, in all honesty. But people aren't aware, or people haven't been aware. And I was like that too. And there's still sometimes I do catch myself. Hello, I'm human. We're here to recognize and be accountable for ourselves. But I piped up in that moment, and I'm like, oh man, you don't want to say that, like, whoa. And then of course the whole energy changed, and she got very angry with me. And the next thing I know, she didn't come around and didn't want to talk to me anymore. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So do I speak up when I hear these things or not? Well, now I discern it, and I ask Spirit, is this a time to bring it to people's attention? Because I've been misjudged, if you will, with this undeserving villain attitude as, somebody that is judging somebody. And that's not what I was doing at all. My intentions was to bring awareness to the situation. Like, what you say, you become, or you attract. And I'm sorry, I love whales. They're my kin on a spiritual level. Like, I felt like I needed to, like, whoa, put a stop to that. But yeah, well, no, they're still telling me I needed to stand up and speak my truth. But it didn't end up being a conversation of asking, well, why would you say that? To either parties, to try to understand each other. Then everybody's backs just got up, judgment ensued, and separation happened. Law of attraction. If you are not impeccable with your word and you're not managing yourself, right, we will end up perceiving others the way we are ourselves. It's a hard truth pill to swallow, but I've learned how to do it many, many times because I don't want to be that person anymore. I am here to be the best version of me so that I can end up giving what I have. And I have a lot of love. And I recently found out I had a lot of anger in there too. So I'm working on that. But that's my personal stuff. I don't want that projected with my perception of others anymore. So I'm doing that work. That's the spiritual law of attraction. Where you're operating from, your frequencies, which are connected with your words and your emotions and your actions, are what let the universe, or all that is, know what it is that needs to come to you that operates on those frequencies. It's as simple as that. So if we're wanting more joy, we want more magic in our life, we got to get more positive. And I don't mean spiritually bypassing. We have to do our inner work. The suppression of it makes it happen in the subconscious, which is still actively playing out in our reality. We have to take care of what is inside and clear what is no longer serving us in order to get to that next level of energy frequencies, right? It's like trying to take off, but being tethered to an anchor down here. You're going to get up and then boom, stop, or be yanked right back down. So you got to clear that tether. You got to get rid of that. And that's, you know, it is a positive thing to do the hard work. Or what seems like hard work. It's only hard because our ego has no idea, and it conjures up great creative ideas of how bad it could be. And it never is that bad. It's actually a lot more simple than when we realize. But yeah, so if you want a positive outcome, it's imperative to adapt a positive attitude and mindset about everything, even the things you don't like. You can find some kind of good out of it if you choose to. The choice is yours. It always has been. All right, our final message from the Seeker Oracle is trust in science. So this is interesting because this little, atomic symbol here, it reminds me a lot. It feels like that energy of the Melchizedek's Merkaba. Okay. And with the bee here, the bee, a very magical creature here that is aerodynamically incorrect, but yet here it flies. So you know what the component is that helps it fly? The buzzing. The vibration of sound, which you can't see. You can hear it and you can feel it. You know it's there. So that's energy. You can see the instruments that create the sound, but the sound itself, you don't see. You feel it. So that's energy and science coming together, creating something absolutely beautiful, including us, in this universe. UNI verse. So if you're not liking where you're at, start strumming to a different tune to bring yourself up and out. You do have the power. You just have to believe it. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. And what I am going to do, just for you guys to know, is on my Facebook page, I'll be taking pictures of all of these cards, and they're full write-up from the book, and just making a post with that information there. And then, of course, you can come back to watch this replay at any given time to remind yourself of the messages that came through for this week. Or maybe some of these messages will become relevant for you way down in the future. Spirit has no limits or boundaries on how it delivers its messages to us. We here in this physical reality as a human are the only ones that operate in, in the construct of time. Spirit does not. It is timeless. Oh, thank you, Shannon. Well, I'm going to open it up before you go. If you two that are on with me now would like to have a personal message, please type in your question right now if you have a specific question. Otherwise, if you would just like a message, like going to the default, please tell me what I need to know. Go ahead and type that in. And then your message may very well, Spirit saying it definitely will, be resonating with others. So a message that somebody asks could very well get answers for other people, which is extremely helpful to those that have not found their own voice yet, but will. I'm just gonna, oh, there she goes. All right, Shannon, a message that I need to hear. Okay, what deck? Ooh, Starseed is calling for you. One moment. Let me grab it. Oh, my cat wants to escape too. 1 second. There you go, Bubba. Haha, the Starseeds actually came out for you. Starseed Oracle. I have not. This deck has not come out to play in a while. Okay. Most important message for Shannon Louise, please. Okay. So it says, we are the Hathors. Deep love. This represents deep love, mother's milk, and birth as a portal. Wow. So this is very divine feminine energy. Wow, this is like, love the Hathors, right? So that's your light language. That's your light language. Jeez, Louise. I love it. That's what they just said. Hold on a sec. They're telling me to read from the book here, so let me do so. Okay. I'm just going to skip over here. So this is a card of extreme potency, and I can feel it, of femininity, of creation, and of birth. You're being called to mother yourself and others as well, to surrender to your sacred femininity, to create and surrender to your own creations, to hold and be held. You're being called to remember your place in the web of life and to realize that the Cosmic Mother is watching you every step of the way. You may be going through a transition right now, moving from one way of being to another. If so, you're being reminded that you're cradled in a sacred container, that you're more held than you can possibly imagine, and you have access to more love in your heart than you can bear. Wait, let me say, and you have access to more love than your heart can bear. If you're struggling in any way, you're being reassured that things will work out. Yeah, take a deep breath. Seriously. Whew, right? You're being reassured that things will work out. So open yourself to receiving the overflowing love of the Cosmic Mother, flooding towards you from every direction. Let it stretch your heart. So this is in connection to that heart message that was coming right from the beginning, right? Yes, I know, Nicole. So was I. Okay, so Nicole, if you feel, and anybody else on the replay that would be watching this, put your hand to your heart right now and repeat this after me. I allow the deep love of the Cosmic Mother to wash over me. I'm loved. I am held. And then breathe that in. Right. I might get emotional because that felt so good. So good. Beautiful. Oh, yeah, I'm excited for you, Shannon. Most important message for Nicole. It's here. Please and thank you. Nicole, your message is cracked open, which represents rock bottom and serenity to the alchemy of life. So they're telling me that you will benefit from going over to the Facebook page when I get that post up with all the written messages from this particular card, just as a continue the breadcrumbs for you. All right. Oops, backwards. So cracked open. Now, my understanding in a positive light with this, yes, it's a challenging time. I'm not going to denote that. I'm going to accept it for what it is. But the beauty of this is where the light comes in. Right? When I had the experience of my spiritual awakening and it looked like I had a full-on breakdown, I was even hospitalized for it on a few occasions. But I was having a breakthrough, a spiritual breakthrough. That's what was really happening. And once I got very quiet and started listening to that intuition within through that heart space, it has never led me astray. And then I eventually came to realize that that was not a breakdown. That was a breakthrough. So when I hear messages of being cracked open and feeling like it's a rock bottom, it's a beautiful thing because that way of life is over. And you're about to, what I've referred to as jump the fence to the other side where it's electrified. Your light, your soul, it's going to be emerging now. It is already unfolding as such. So they also want me to read a portion of the book for you here because this is also going to be beneficial to quite a few people. Okay. Don't let the weight of density of the world squash your tender spirit. Instead, let it call even more of it home into your body, at the center front of your life. It's through the extreme pressure of life's trials that diamonds are cultivated. It's when things are at their darkest that we cultivate proper faith and our light is ignited. It's through the crumbling that we can allow our wounds to be alchemized. Let your pain, your sorrow, and losses make you, not break you. Oh, I love that. Let life alchemize your tragedies into gold. Be open to being cracked open, wide open. It's the difficult times that help us grow in leaps and bounds, and I can definitely attest to that. And in ways that we can only dream were possible. But first, they have to crack us open. Sometimes it hurts like hell. It's nature's way. Whether you let it happen or not, it is going to happen. So it's easier to surrender to the process. Accept it for what it is. You do not have to like it, but accept it for what it is. It's how the light gets in. When our hearts crack open, a space is created for the soul to move more fully into our being here. When your soul cracks open, a space is created for the grace of the Holy Spirit to enter. Let your trials, your sorrows, your pains, and your losses transform you into more and more of yourself. Stay open to the possibility that your tragedies and losses or sorrows and hurt happened for you instead of to you. Bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open because the world needs you open. Surrender to the alchemy of life. So Nicole, your Starseed Soul Inquiry, and for anyone else that's really resonating with this, um, the Starseed Soul Inquiry is a question. So if you've got a pen to write this down or come back and fast forward to the replay, through the replay, how can you let life crack you open? And being cracked open isn't always, a difficult thing. It can be, especially if our mindset is still in a very negative place due to programming. But like I said, when we shift our mindset and allow for the possibility to believe that things are not as hard or difficult as we've been taught or used to believe they are, that mindset shifts everything profoundly so that your experience is not a hard one or a difficult one. It may be uncomfortable, but that's where our growth is. And I'm sorry to inform you, that will never change. It's just a part of our human existence here, and we all have to learn how to accept that instead of transcend it or get rid of it. So, yes, it's a process. And if you are, obviously, if anybody is having difficulties with some of the stuff that's coming up, there's a lot of support out there. So reach out to those that you feel drawn to. Spirit will not lead you astray when you take a moment to breathe through that heart and ask to be shown the way. Surrender. This is how you flex that faith and trust muscle that you have in order to turn you on and light you up even more. Oh, my heart goes out to all of you. From my heart to yours. May you find your peace and your joy and your light and shine that throughout this upcoming week to the best of your abilities. I love you all. And I will see you again next week. I feel like I am going to be popping on. I don't know what day. They're just telling me, yep, you're going to do a spontaneous live for one-on-one readings. So if you have not yet, please hit subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell, because I'm not giving anybody else a heads up of when I go live unless you're here. It's just the new thing, and this is where I'm being really drawn to focus on and be. So, all right, shine bright, beautiful souls. We got this, and we're in it together. Namaste.